Elon Musk is under attack. American traders have lost their jobs and are being arrested, possibly as we speak, and the Department of Homeland Security is using one of the liberals' former greatest tools against them in a hilarious way. This and so much more is unfolding across the political landscape of America, and we're covering it all right now here at American Advocates. Absolute chaos erupting yesterday on the Elon Musk-owned platform X. If you were scrolling throughout the day on it, you probably noticed error messages, buffering, frequent crashes. It wasn't just a glitch, it turns out. It was a coordinated effort in the form of a DDoS attack by a hacktivist group, apparently going by Dark Storm. They claimed responsibility for the successful cyber assault, and it doesn't stop there. It gets more interesting, and there may be more to this story than meets the eye the way we see it right now. Elon Musk, in an explosive interview, dropped this bombshell. Take a listen.
There was a cyber attack on X today, which shut it down and may have been foreign sourced.
Yes.
It's a big story. You want to give us a moment on that?
Well, we're not sure exactly what happened, but there was a massive cyber attack to try to bring down the X system with IP addresses originating in the Ukraine area.
Now, I'm not trying to report this in some sort of fishy way to make it seem like the Ukraine government, for some reason, DDoSed X today to get to Elon Musk. Let's not jump to conclusions. But what I am saying is the timing of all this is very suspicious. Think about it like this. X was DDoS attacked today multiple times successfully. Tesla has been subject to protests and violent riots where some of their electric vehicles have been set on fire, endangering the workers of Tesla and all the people nearby. Elon's rocket blew up, which is not a conspiracy, it was probably just a malfunction, but the liberal media was eerily happy to hear that Elon's rocket blew up. And Grok is a part of X, that's Elon's new AI, that was obviously shut down today too. There is a massive, multi-layered attack going on Elon Musk right now, and the timing is very suspicious because just before the weekend, a federal judge made a ruling that the Department of Government Efficiency, yes, that's right, the very department Elon Musk is in charge of, DOGE, can in fact access the sensitive Treasury data. And DOGE has so far been unstoppable, uncovering massive amounts of fraud and corruption. And every time he does, you bet that the elite establishment deep state, yes, that's a term you're hearing more of as of late for good reason. Every time Elon uncovers more fraud and corruption, the deep state is losing more and more money. They can't be happy about this. So, Darkstorm, a hacktivist group? Could be a front for something much bigger and potentially more dangerous. So Elon is certainly in our thoughts and prayers. He's not relenting either. Later on in that interview that I showed, he mentioned specifically his plan is to keep going. He's going to uncover as much fraud as possible, and he believes that by the end of Doge's run in the government, they could likely wind up saving the American taxpayers and our government, for that matter, up to $1 trillion.
But there's no turning back, you're saying.
I'm just here trying to make government more efficient, eliminate waste and fraud, and so far we're making good progress, actually. So our savings at this point exceed $4 billion a day.
Mm-hmm. Next up, we have phenomenal news coming out of the Department of Homeland Security with Secretary Kristi Noem, who, if I might say, has been on fire since taking her position. She announced earlier that they've identified 2 more leakers within the government who have been giving up sensitive information about future ICE raids to people looking to avoid ICE. This puts law enforcement lives at great risk. And Secretary Noem, in an interview, actually, scratch that, in a recorded selfie-style video that she posted on her social media, dropped this bombshell. The gloves are off. Take a listen.
Everyone, I wanted to give you a quick update. We have identified 2 leakers of information here at the Department of Homeland Security who have been telling individuals about our operations and putting law enforcement lives in jeopardy. We plan to prosecute these 2 individuals and hold them accountable for what they've done. And we're going to continue to do all that we can to keep America safe.
And this announcement is just music to the ears of every conservative-blooded American, because we're tired of government workers committing such heinous acts and violations and merely receiving a slap on the wrist for it. These people are traitors. You have to do a lot more than just fire them. In 2025, firing someone means very little. They can go get other jobs. Sometimes they can go get other jobs in a different branch of the government. No more of that. The American people, we want justice in the form of retribution. These people are going to be prosecuted, and hopefully they're going to serve prison time, because that's exactly what they deserve for this level of disruption and this kind of traitorous act. It's disgusting. Now, have you heard of an app called the CBP1 app? And no, this is not a sponsorship for the channel. This is actually news. Apparently, this was an app created by liberals in October of 2020 as a sort of workaround for incoming illegal immigrants to download onto their phones that were no doubt paid for them, and to be able to use that app to work around our government institutions and networks. It's shady. The Republicans did not like it at all, and for good reason. And for the longest time, we didn't really know what to do with it. However, great news coming out of the Department of Homeland Security yesterday, once again, as they cleverly flipped the script on this app and they used it to do the opposite of what it was intended to do. Yesterday, they used it to identify every single illegal immigrant using the app that's in our nation, and they sent them a firm warning in the form of a text message-like response telling them you need to self-deport yourself if you're in this country illegally. And this comes with a promise on the other side of that, and that is, if you self-deport yourself in a timely manner, you are guaranteed a chance to re-enter this nation the correct and legal way. But the other guarantee is, if you try to remain hidden, you will be now hunted down because you've already been identified for using this CBP1 app. So they're going to hunt you down, they're going to remove you, and you're going to be barred from ever entering this country again. And this is exactly the kind of thinking we need in higher up government. This is creative to the max level, taking something that the liberals designed as a workaround to encourage and maintain an extensive illegal immigrant population here in America, and flipping that script and turning it into something we can now use as a tool to track down these people, find out their whereabouts, and remove them from our nation if need be. It's amazing because we are sending a message. No more sanctuary cities. None of that nonsense. No more illegal immigrations. No more sneaky border crossings. That era is done under the Trump administration. We're in a new era now. Come here legally or don't come at all. Shifting gears, we're now going to discuss the phenomenal news that came out of the Department of National Intelligence yesterday at the hands of both Tulsi Gabbard and President Donald Trump, for that matter. At the direction of the president yesterday, Tulsi Gabbard revoked the security clearances for high-profile names from the Biden administration like Jake Sullivan, Letitia James, and Alvin Bragg, amongst many others, including all 51 names that found themselves on the Hunter Biden's Laptop is Disinformation Act, as well as names that were included in the weaponization of the Department of Justice against President Trump for the past couple of years. That's right, this is President Trump's retribution against these people. They knew this day was coming, and they did everything they could to speak out against it and try to prevent it. But this is what happens. It backfires. This is what we call karma in the modern day and age. And Tulsi Gabbard served it up on a hot plate to these guys. And not only is this just an incredible power move from our president, but it's also President Trump serving up President Biden's own medicine right back to him. How does it taste, Joe? Take a look at this clip that I dug up from quite a few years ago. Check this out.
I just think that there is no need for him to have that intelligence briefing. What value is giving him an intelligence briefing? What impact does he have at all, other than the fact he might slip and say something?
And finally, news broke yesterday that Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelenskyy apparently has issued an apology to President Trump for his blatantly disrespectful attitude in the Oval Office the other week when they met. For quite a while now, Zelenskyy has somehow managed to be propped up by pretty much the entire world as a hero leader trying to save his nation and keep them intact during a gruesome war from the big bad guys, Russia. While on the other end of that fence, President Donald Trump somehow has been vilified by the media and large parts of the world, and the only thing he's been calling for is peace between the two nations. It's very interesting to see. At this point, Zelensky's probably realizing what the term "you don't have the cards" really means, though. He needs America. He needs everything about us. The European Union can't get the job done by themselves, and he's probably coming to this conclusion right now. Someone's probably translated to him what "you don't have the cards" actually means. In other terms, he understands the winds are shifting now. The days of unlimited American funds and aid is over with. He's dealing with a much stronger leader than that who means what he says. And President Trump says he wants peace. At this point, President Volodymyr Zelenskyy can probably only hope to just retain his seat at the negotiating table when all these leaders are set to meet in the Middle East sometime this week and hopefully finally come to peace terms. What are your thoughts on the Ukraine-Russia war, though? Should America be more involved, less involved? Should we pull out of NATO? Or should we just mediate for peace and wash our hands of it the rest of the way? Comment down below.